Okay, today on Radical Inuk, let's go check something out. So I got a couple of parts in. We're gonna have a look at the mini bike. There's Juno. Okay, we have the torque converter, which I've got to actually put a few repairs on. I haven't put the cover on yet because I'm waiting on a few parts. But yeah, we have the exhaust in. Silicone sleeve is super helpful to keep it cool, prevent you from burning your leg. Put the air intake on. This still needs, believe it or not, a new carb. The carb that comes with this I bought this bike in 2019, sent it up. It's a Coleman CT200E-UX. It had a cargo little replacement for the gas tank, or in place of the gas tank, and that actually ended up just rattling off. So this definitely needs a rear suspension to absorb impacts, but this engine is why I bought it originally. Reason being is it would be very cool to take a little 196 or a 212C Predator engine, which you can pick up for about 200 something Canadian, buy a bunch of them, set them up, and use these on ATVs. And you don't have issues like this. Turn up the ladder here. I've taken most of my ATV apart. These are actually all the parts. The rest of the parts are inside. This is just parts of the frame. But yeah, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to take an ATV frame, strip it down, throw one of the 212C Predator engines with a CVT. Now the reason I like these CVTs, or these torque converters, is because they are dead simple. The chain on this actually broke. I've got to put that back on or put the chain back together. And the reason it broke is there's only like less than a 1-inch gap for that chain to come back here. And if there's a lot of player movement and you don't tighten these really tight, the Coleman, or rather the mini bike tensioners, chain tensioners for adjusting the lashing of the tire, I guess, left or right, or inwards, outwards, those are stripped. Those ended up, just from the force of riding, ended up absorbing impacts, which is not what we want. So that'll probably need to be a solution I look at down the road. But today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fire up the Jenny, connect the plasma cutter. We're gonna continue cutting this apart. We're removing excess bits off of these two metal bars. Because the plan down the road is going to be to take these, make a rear swing off the mini bike as is, but that's not the long-term plan. The long-term plan involves something else. This is just a test of the engine, and it's always just been about the engine. Mini bike, riding it is just a fringe benefit. We'll fire up right now and show you how it starts and runs. Run it, started rather. This is what the torque tensioner does with the torque converter. Hear me, it's too loud basically. There's a lot of rattling going on, and I suspect it's because there's a flywheel in here. Actually, it's on this side. That is a cast flywheel, and it's not exactly the most balanced. So replacing that is down the road something going to happen. That's going to happen rather, as well as the connecting rod. It's just something a little bit more balanced, so you can rotate this at higher RPMs. This carburetor needs to come out because it doesn't have a replacement needle for the kit, the air intake, the exhaust. You need to put a larger or different size jet to allow fuel in at a certain rate. But I picked up a different, basically it's a different type of carburetor. It's a fuel injected, mechanical fuel injection, which should be a lot better than relying on the carburetor up here. The dog goes in. By dog goes, I mean kennel. There's Juno, she's been running around. There's a swan in that pond, and her and Beethoven were trying to go chase it, so she got a little muddy. We're gonna get ready to do some plasma cutting here. All we need to do is fire up the generator, connect the plasma cutter, and we're ready to cut. So I'll record a little bit more video when I'm doing that. Peace.